Most people who know about Lake Las Vegas think they have it figured out. They've driven past it, maybe they've been to the village for dinner, maybe they've watched someone get married here. They know it's beautiful, they know it's on a lake. What they don't know is what it actually feels like to live here day to day in 2026. Because knowing a community exists and understanding what life looks like inside it, those are two very different things, and the gap, that's exactly what this video is all about. And in 2026, what's happening at Lake Las Vegas goes way beyond the real estate. The community itself has leveled up in a way that I want to walk you through today. Because if you're a buyer researching Henderson luxury options right now and you haven't taken Lake Las Vegas seriously, my hope is that this video is going to change that.
I'm Chruszhet Hydron. I've lived in Las Vegas for over 40 years. Welcome to my channel, where local insight meets real guidance.
My name is Chruszhet. I've been working this valley for over 40 years. I live and work in Lake Las Vegas, and I've watched this community evolve in real time. Today's video is not about numbers. I have a dedicated market update dropping next week that covers pricing, inventory, days on market, all of that. But this video is about something different. This is about what it actually feels like to live here. What's new, what's changed, and why 2026 might be the most interesting year Lake Las Vegas has had. Let's start with the basics, because a lot of people still don't fully understand what Lake Las Vegas is. This is a master plan community built around a 320-acre man-made lake in Henderson, Nevada. This community was designed intentionally with walkability, water access, and a lifestyle-forward vision built in from day one. It's not a subdivision that happened to put in a pond. The lake is the centerpiece. Everything else is just built around it. So who lives here? It's a mix. You've got full-time residents that are families, professionals, retirees. You've got part-time owners, people from California or the Pacific Northwest, who use this as their warm weather base. And you've got a growing number of relocators, people coming from out of state who did the research, came out for a visit, and couldn't find a reason to look anywhere else. The vibe is something I want to address specifically because it's more nuanced than people think. And honestly, it depends on which part of the community you're in. So South Shore is exclusive, private. I've been to gatherings in South Shore, and I'll tell you, it feels like being in a European country club. We're talking large, beautiful estates, a level of privacy and quiet that you don't find in most of Las Vegas. If you want to be somewhere that feels removed from everything, that's South Shore. North Shore has a completely different energy, and honestly, a lot of that might come down to the village being right there. The restaurants, the concerts, the events, that activity spills into the neighborhood in a way that makes it feel lively. You'll see people out and about, golf carts rolling through, residents taking their dogs for walks. It breathes in a way that still feels upscale. Now, I'll be honest with you, I live in this community, but I don't spend a lot of time on the South Shore side during the day. I've been to weddings, events, and gatherings in South Shore, but what I can tell you from showing homes there is that it has a character all its own. The roads are different, curvy and winding, homes are tucked away at higher elevations, there's hidden pockets you wouldn't find unless someone took you there, and some properties sit up with dramatic views, others are right at the water. It doesn't feel like a grid. It feels like it was carved into the terrain. And South Shore has its own social club, its own exclusive golf course, not open to the public. So residents there aren't lacking for community or activities. They just happen in a more private, self-contained way. It's a different lifestyle within the community, and for the right buyer, that level of seclusion is exactly what they're looking for. So when buyers ask me, what's the vibe at Lake Las Vegas? My answer is this. Which side are you asking about? Because this community gives you options, and that's exactly one of the things that makes it very interesting. Now, I get this question a lot that I want to address directly, because if you're asking it, I promise you're not the only one. What's the difference between Summerlin and Lake Las Vegas other than a lake? Well, that's a fair question, because both are master plan communities, both are upscale, both attract the same general buyer profile. So let me actually answer it this way. Summerlin is a city within a city. We're talking tens of thousands of homes, multiple villages, its own downtown district, hospitals, shopping centers, freeways, everything is right there. If convenience and infrastructure are your priority, Summerlin wins that conversation every time. You are close to everything. So Lake Las Vegas is the opposite of that, on purpose. This community was never designed to be a suburb. It was designed to be a destination. The footprint is intentionally smaller, the density is intentionally lower, you don't have a Target 2 minutes away. That's the point. Here's how I put it to buyers. Summerlin is where you live and go out from. Lake Las Vegas is where you live and stay in. Summerlin gives you access, Lake Las Vegas gives you escape. And depending on where you are in life, what you want your daily rhythm to feel like, one of those is going to resonate immediately and the other one isn't going to feel right at all. The buyer who thrives in Summerlin usually wants proximity, quick errands, easy access to the freeway, kids and activities all over the valley. That life makes sense in Summerlin. The buyer who thrives at Lake Las Vegas usually wants to decompress when they get home. They want the commute to feel worth it when they arrive. They want their weekends to happen inside the community, not driving around and finding something to do. Neither one is wrong. They're just different answers to a very different question about how you want to live. What I'll tell you is this: in the 20 plus years of working this valley, the buyers who move to Lake Las Vegas almost never ask me to help them move back to a traditional suburb, and that tells you something. But before I walk you through what's new in 2026, I want to give you some context, because I think understanding where Lake Las Vegas came from makes everything I'm about to tell you land a lot differently. There's a building in the village, what used to be called the Montilago Village, that people ask me about constantly. It sits at the very top of the village. It's big, it's quiet, mostly dark. If you've walked past it, you've probably wondered what's the deal with that building. That's the old Casino Montilago, and the story behind it is actually one of the most important things to understand about this community. The casino opened in 2003, built at a cost of around $60 million, 40,000 square feet of gaming space right here in the village. But it was really never set up to succeed. At the time Lake Las Vegas had a fraction of the residents it was supposed to have, the master plan called for thousands of homes. The reality was a few hundred. A neighborhood casino without a neighborhood is a tough business model. It went through multiple operators. It closed, it reopened, it closed again, over lease disputes, ownership changes, the 2008 crash hitting this community especially hard. Lake Las Vegas actually went through bankruptcy. The original developers defaulted on over $500 million in loans. The Ritz-Carlton closed, golf courses shut down, and by most measures, it was one of the biggest real estate flops in Nevada history. And I want to give you some personal context here because I've been watching this community longer than most. I'm talking late 1990s. Lake Las Vegas wasn't a real estate conversation back then. It was a staycation spot, a hidden gem. And I mean genuinely hidden. You had to know it was here. So there was one way in and one way out. That was it. Galleria Drive didn't exist yet. That road that now cuts through and connects this whole corridor, none of that was there. You took one road in and you took that same road out. It was tucked away in the desert in a way that felt almost intentional, like a secret. And honestly, that was part of the charm. You'd come out here and it felt like you'd discovered something. The lake, the Mediterranean architecture, the quiet. It didn't feel like anything else in the valley. Now look at the infrastructure around this community. Multiple access points, Galleria running straight through, the whole corridor developed around it. The valley grew toward Lake Las Vegas, not the other way around. And through all of it, the bankruptcy, the casino closures, the recession, the lake didn't go anywhere. The bones of this community never changed. What's changed is everything built around it. So why am I telling you this? Because look at it now. The village is alive. The restaurants are full. The lake has boats on it. New programming is launching. People are choosing to move here, not because they have to, but because they want to. The casino building is still there, still mostly dark, and honestly, I think that building is one of the most honest things in Lake Las Vegas because it's proof that this community absorbed a generational financial disaster and came out on the other side as something completely different. Not a casino destination, a lifestyle destination. The people who live here now aren't here to gamble. They're here because of the lake, the trails, the village, the events, the quiet, and the proximity to Henderson with none of the congestion. And that shift, that's not an accident. That's years of intentional rebuilding. Which brings me to 2026, because if that building is a symbol of where Lake Las Vegas was, what I'm about to show you is a symbol of where it's going. So let me walk you through what's been added to this community in 2026 because the programming lineup right now is genuinely impressive. First, dockside dining. This is new. Waterfront dining right on the lake. If you've been to the other waterfront communities, Scottsdale waterfront, parts of San Diego, you know what this adds to a neighborhood. You can walk out of your home, take your electric boat to the village, have dinner with the view of the lake. That is not a small thing for a community in the middle of a desert. It changes how residents use a community day to day. It's not a drive out for dinner night ride anymore. It's a boat across the lake night. Next, we have the farmers market. The first and third Sundays of the month. This is not a grocery run. I want to be clear about that. This is a community gathering. Vendors, local products, people who live here actually connecting with each other in a relaxed outdoor setting. And for buyers coming from markets like California or the Pacific Northwest, you know what a good farmers market does to a neighborhood. It signals a certain kind of community, people who care about where they live, people who show up. Lake Las Vegas has that now. Now, summer concert series. This is big. Concerts at the lake on Saturday evenings running from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. throughout the summer. The May schedule is already posted. You can find it on the Village at Lake Las Vegas's Instagram page. Picture this. It's a Saturday evening. You walk out from your home or maybe take a short golf cart ride from the community down to the lakeside. Live music, the water, the backdrop of the mountains in the distance. That is the Lake Las Vegas lifestyle in a single image. And if that wasn't enough, stars on the lake. The first and third Sundays, the same days as the farmers market, celebrity artists, young emerging talent performing at the lake, free and open to the public. No ticket required. Think about what that combination looks like on a Sunday. You start with the farmers market in the morning and then you stay for the stars on the lake in the evening or late afternoon. That's a full day right here in the community without getting in your car. And then there's something launching on May 24th that I want to call out specifically. It's called Reset at the Lake. It's $20 per person. You get a towel, a water, and your choice of a mimosa or a mocktail. RSVP is required. This is a curated, intentional experience. It's not a free event they threw together. Someone thought carefully about what this should feel like, the price point, the inclusions, the RSVP requirement. It all signals the same thing. Lake Las Vegas is leaning into wellness, into lifestyle programming, into the idea that living here should feel like a resort, because it is a resort. So what does a typical weekend actually look like for someone who lives here? Let's walk through it. Saturday morning, you wake up, you walk to the village, grab some coffee from Del Remo, enjoy the water views, maybe a paddleboard out on the lake before lunchtime. That evening, live music at the summer concert series. Sunday, farmers market in the morning, stars on the lake in the evening, and during the week, your commute is real. I want to be honest about that. Lake Las Vegas is about 30 to 40 minutes away from the strip or to the city. It is not Summerlin. You are not 5 minutes away from everything. What you are is in a completely different kind of environment. When you pull into this community after a long day, it doesn't feel like you're arriving home. It feels like you're arriving somewhere. That sounds like marketing, I know, but it's not. It's the feedback I hear from residents over and over. The trade-off is real. You give up proximity to get tranquility, you give up convenience to get community, and for the right buyer, that trade is obvious. Here's the part I want move-up buyers to really sit with. Before I get into what these new amenities mean for the market, I want to clear something up because I get asked about this all the time. Yes, there is a sports club at Lake Las Vegas, and yes, it's a great facility, but not every resident has a membership and not every builder buys into it. So when you're evaluating what this community actually offers you as a homeowner, don't build your decision around the sports club unless you know it's included in your specific purchase. What is available to you, regardless of which home, which builder, which HOA you're in, is this: Reflection Bay Golf Club. You can play here. Yes, there is a fee, but it's one of the most scenic courses in the valley. You're playing along the lake. That's not something you find anywhere else in Henderson. The village, the shops, the restaurants, the marina side energy, that's open to the public. Anyone can come here. The difference as a resident is that it's not a destination for you. It's your backyard. You walk to it. That's a lifestyle distinction that doesn't show up in a floor plan, but it shows up every single day. And then there's something most people don't know about. In the falls, the back section of the community, there's a Jack Nicklaus designed golf course that was shut down. And here's the thing, residents can use it for free. You want to practice your drives, your short game, maybe a casual round without booking a tee time? That course is yours. No fee, no reservation. That's the kind of detail that only comes out when you actually live here or work here for years, which is exactly why I do these videos. Now, back to the amenity additions, because these matter. These new additions like the dockside dining, the concert series, stars on the lake, reset at the lake. Well, actually the concert series has been around for years, but these are not cosmetic. They are not marketing fluff added to a brochure. They are demand drivers. So more programming means more desirability. More desirability means stronger buyer interest. Stronger buyer interest means this market holds its value and in some cases continues to appreciate while other communities plateau. And if you're the kind of buyer I work with most often, someone who already owns a home, has equity, and and is thinking about what the next chapter looks like, Lake Las Vegas deserves a serious conversation. Not a drive-by on the way to look at something in Summerlin. It's a real conversation about what's available, what the HOA structure looks like, what the lifestyle actually costs beyond the purchase price, and whether this fits the way you want to live. I know this community, I live in it, I've sold in it for years, and I can tell you the version of Lake Las Vegas that exists today is the best version it's ever been. If this is the first time you've watched one of my videos, I want you to know what I'm doing here. I'm here to give you the same information I'd give a close friend who called me up and said, hey, I'm thinking about making a move. What do I actually need to know? That's just how I operate. Next week, I'm dropping the Henderson market update, median prices, inventory, days on market, and what it all means for buyers right now. If you want that when it drops, hit subscribe and the notification bell. And if you're already thinking about Lake Las Vegas or Henderson in general, and you want to talk through what a move actually looks like, reach out. That's what I'm here for. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.